to see if he or she has not voted already. The right-hand thumb is then marked with indelible ink. Issuance. Referendum ballot paper. Marking of the ballot paper. The voter marks the ballot paper in the polling booth. Vote casting. The voter deposits the marked ballot paper in the ballot box. The voter walks out of the polling station. Spoiled ballot papers. If a voter wrongly marks, spoils, or tears a ballot paper, he or she can ask the presiding officer for a new one or replacement. What not to do with the ballot paper? A voter shall not write his or her name on the ballot paper, write his or her signature or any mark that may identify him or her on the ballot paper. Place a mark on both yes and no, or write anything else except for the mark X. Leave the ballot paper unmarked. Remove the ballot paper from the polling station and come with a ballot paper or any other paper from outside the polling station. Marking your ballot paper correctly. A ballot paper must be marked with an X on either yes or no. Instructions. Mark one cross X only in the blank box against yes or no. Question. Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia? Answer: yes. Symbol and I. Mark X in this column. Answer: no. Symbol and ear. Mark X in this column. Persons allowed in the polling station. Members and staff of ECZ, accredited monitors and observers, polling staff, accredited election agents and media, voters, candidates. Do you know that on 11th August 2016 we'll also be voting in a referendum?
Yes, alongside the general election.
Electoral Commission of Zambia. Understand the 2016 referendum. Yes or no? Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia? What are you voting for in this referendum? The referendum question. Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia? What are you voting for in this referendum? According to the Constitution of Zambia, Any alterations in the Bill of Rights in Article 79 requires that a referendum be held where citizens are expected to either accept or reject the question relating to the Bill of Rights in Article 79. The Bill of Rights is contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia. During this referendum, eligible citizens will vote to agree or disagree to amend and enhance the Bill of Rights and repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia. You vote either yes or no. If you vote yes, it means that you are agreeing or accepting to the proposed amendments to the Bill of Rights and repealing and replacing of Article 79. If you vote no, it means that you want the current Bill of Rights and Article 79 to remain unchanged. If the referendum succeeds, the enhanced Bill of Rights and the revised Article 79 will be taken to Parliament for enactment into law. What is being altered or amended in the Bill of Rights? Civil and political rights. These are provided for in the current Bill of Rights. In the proposed Bill of Rights, some of the articles have been included while others have been modified. What will be new in the Bill of Rights? Economic, social, cultural, and environmental rights. Further and special rights. What is being proposed to be repealed and replaced in the Constitution of Zambia? Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia is being proposed for repealing. The proposal is to replace it with Part 19A or Articles 301 to 303 in the proposed Constitution of Zambia or Amendment Bill 2016. Comparison between Article 79 of the current Constitution and proposed Articles 301 to 303. Article 79. Process of amending the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Articles 301 to 303. Process of amending the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Under Article 79, amendments requiring referendum. Bill of Rights, Article 79. Under Articles 301 to 303, amendments requiring referendum. 1. Supremacy of the Constitution. 4. Sovereignty of the Republic. 5. Sovereign authority of the people of Zambia. 47. Electoral system for presidential and parliamentary. 106. Tenure of office of the president and vacancy. 110. Vice presidency election to office and swearing in. 116. Ministers, that is appointment, role and vacancy. 117. Provincial ministers, that is appointment, role and vacancy. Part 3. Bill of Rights. Articles 301 and 303. Under Article 79, referendum threshold. 50% of eligible voters voting yes. Under Articles 301 to 303, 303, referendum threshold. 50% of registered voters voting and more than 50% of vote in favor. Under Article 79, no time frame. Under Articles 301 to 303, 303, referendum to be held within 120 days after first reading of the bill. Under Article 79, requirement, holder of green NRC and attained the age of 18. Under Articles 301 to 303, 303, requirement, Registered voter. My rights and the proposed Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is a set of legal guarantees that is set out within the Constitution to protect fundamental rights and freedom of individuals.
Why is the Bill of Rights important?
A Bill of Rights protects and guarantees your rights.
All human beings have human rights. The proposed Bill of Rights will be voted for or against through the national referendum.
What are my human rights?
These are basic entitlements and freedoms that humans are guaranteed. Your rights include economic, social, cultural, and environmental rights, further and special rights. A referendum is a way in which citizens directly vote to accept or reject a national issue.
Human rights allow all people to live with dignity, freedom, equality, justice, and peace.
It's a guarantee that the Zambian government would not infringe on rights that are personal to every human being in this nation.
It prevents abuse of power and the taking away of rights of citizens unfairly.
Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia?
What is status, application, and interpretation of the Bill of Rights? Status application and interpretation of the Bill of Rights states that the proposed Bill of Rights shall be the basis of Zambia's social, political, legal, economic, and cultural policies and state action.
A Bill of Rights protects and guarantees your rights.
Protects the dignity of a person.
It should not be against our morals and values.
Subject to limitations and restrictions.
by virtue of being human,
cannot be easily taken away,
consistent with the Constitution,
recognizes the role of civil society in promotion and protection of the Bill of Rights,
and allows the development of human rights to jurisprudence by the Constitutional Court.
a court shall interpret the Bill of Rights.
all the Human Rights Commission,
or a state body,
or any person,
the rights and freedoms set out in the proposed Bill of Rights are subject to limitations, derogations, and restrictions.
Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia?
What are civil and political rights? Civil and political rights are contained in the Zambian Bill of Rights. These are a class of rights that protects individuals' freedom from infringement by government, social organizations, and private individuals.
A person has the right of access to information held by the state or another person, which is lawfully required for the exercise or protection of a right or freedom.
we have the right to life. Life begins at conception.
A person has a right to justice.
Women and men have an equal right to inherit, own, use, administer, and control property.
They ensure one's ability to participate in the civil and political life of the society and state without discrimination or repression.
Protection from inhuman treatment and security of person, slavery, servitude, and forced labor.
A person shall not be discriminated against, except under a law that provides for affirmative action.
Other rights include access to information, equality before the law, fair trial, and freedom of conscience, belief, and religion, etc.
Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia?
What are economic, social, cultural, and environmental rights?
I have the right to health care. Clean, safe water and decent sanitation.
I have the right to employment and fair labor practices.
I have the right to social protection and education. I have the right to decent housing and food of acceptable standards.
Social, economic, and cultural rights are contained in the Bill of Rights and guarantee that every person be afforded conditions under which they are able to meet their needs.
I have the right to enjoy my cultural practices and to speak a language of my choice. I have the right to safe, clean and healthy environment. I have a right to fair pay and decent working conditions. I have a right to emergency medical treatment.
I have the right to goods and services of acceptable standard.
I have the right to compensation for loss from a defect in goods or services.